Good afternoon. I'm Mutgren and welcome to Dad's old shop. I realize I dropped something and have to go grab it real fast. The uh, not stencil. It will be one day, but the pattern that we're carving today. So, ooh, I did also remember that I forgot to glue this down. So we're gonna. I think part of this is just going to be hanging out for a minute while the glue tacks up. I don't need it to actually be dry, and I don't need a lot of glue. So, the idea today is there's going to be a carving, and I'm just trying to figure out where my point is here because I'm not a oh, it's just this hole. Okay. So I have this coming into focus from off screen. There we go. It's a volleyball. Uh, the idea behind these is so if you follow me at all, I've been talking about playing volleyball, and that's something new that I've been doing as a grown up dwarf, which uh, is unusual for the sport. Sport is mostly a youth sport, and then people at a super high level. So, having somebody who's new come in is unusual. I mean, and I'm in a place that it's an open league, open everything. So like, it's not like I can't be there. And by the terms of the agreement, it's okay. But I know that it can be rough dealing with somebody on your team for some games that is completely new. When we got people that are good players, they like playing league and stuff like that, and it's a significant part of their identity. This is crumple this paper right in front of the microphone. So I failed to cut it out. So, but everybody's been really nice, and I think at first especially because I'm an adult, not a kid, because like it's a 16 and up thing. Um, People were hesitant to give me tips because they didn't want to, backseat another adult. But I think now they're more comfortable going, hey, you need to be here or you need to be doing this and stuff like that. And I really appreciate that. And it's one thing when I tell them, yeah, it's okay. Call me silly and just tell me where to be. But it's another in thing to do, especially with some of the younger people, because they don't want to seem rude. So this is the idea behind these is I can crank these out. I didn't get to yet set up my bandsaw, but crank out blanks on a bandsaw and just knock these together. See, because a treat or something that'd be standard, but it's a gymnasium, so you can't bring food, um, which makes sense. Also, I don't know dietary stuff, and then you have to ask for it, and then it's not a surprise. Christmas ornaments also, I think, are, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, they're small enough that they can just be a charm somewhere, and that's totally fine. So I think even if there's people there that don't celebrate Christmas, which I'm not sure there aren't, but just in case there are, um, it's still there, and it's a volleyball. You know what I mean? It's relatively inoffensive. So, I mean, I would say it is inoffensive, but so I just tack this down with some regular PVA glue. No, not even PVA, just like white glue, which is PVA glue, so it works out. And I'm going to give that a minute to dry out, and then, oh man, I really did saw into the bench top here. Yucky. Get some paper and just make that a little bit nicer to touch. Maybe next year we'll retop this bench. But once it's here for a few minutes, we'll tape this down and start chiseling out. So the idea is, and this isn't, I'm not sure how it'll look, that's why I'm doing it as a test, is to carve out the white lines in between the shadow parts, and they'll reach the edges because this will be a circle, and then repeat the pattern on the other side so that these carvings will go to the other side, so it'll look like a double-sided volleyball, and they'll be like what we made before. I think I brought that upstairs and forgot to bring it down, but it'll be like 3/8 inches. So I think I have a ruler. I do. 3/8 inches isn't very thick, but that's thick enough that I can drill in and get a loop in there. So 3/8, 1, 2, 3. So like that. Maybe in a 1/4 inch. Probably 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch is probably better. Yeah. So we're dealing with small things, but that should be fine. Hey, how's it going, Sugi? Oh. Yeah, the kind of project doesn't take up too much room. Exactly. Like, some of these kids are like, some of the people there are like teenagers. So they're probably going to be going to college soon or something like that. So they're not going to have a lot of room. Also, it's weird when a stranger gives you something and it's kind of big. You're like, what do I do with this? This is like, here you go. It's easy. I can hand them out. Um, and I can just, I have this whole blank here. So just give this another minute or two to tack up and dry before I start hitting it with the chisel here. We're going to start with the smallest chisel and then work out and see how we like it. I think the thinnest one will be too thin to actually like show the grooves and make them look good going to the other side. I'm not going to bother cutting the other side because once again I want to do that all by bandsaw, and I meant to do more stuff this morning, but uh, parenthood has a way of making you on punishment too when your kid's on punishment. So I didn't get to do a fair amount of setup as I would have liked, because that's partially what knocked everything back, is because I had to, I don't want to say babysit because that's the wrong word, discipline sit with my child they did a little kid acting out thing. It's fine. They're fine. But it knocked out my whole schedule from having to go out, and I wanted to go to the gym. I did go to the gym. I wanted to practice volleyball, but turns out there was a huge swimming competition there, which I was not expecting. So, of course, there's, a bunch of the family. So, a bunch of kids all set up, doing full court volleyball and stuff or not volleyball, basketball and stuff. So, can't really squeeze in between there. Like last night I was there and there was like two groups of people doing basketball stuff, but they were small enough groups and far enough apart that I could like hide in a corner and do it. So. I just don't want to fill your table with your table saw with work pieces. Yeah, that's fair too. That is fair too. I carefully hide the mess that is my shop off camera because while I mean to clean it, I just run out of time. And I go, it's in the basement. I don't see it. Wife won't nag me about it. And that's, doesn't make the shop cleaner. I'm always like, after this project, I'll do it. And then the next project starts. So I'm just going to, I love projects, even if I don't always love finishing them for some reason. There we go. Like I'm still looking at a big pot to boil the canvas. Like the most I could do with the bellow right now was just cut the canvas to shape. But like, I don't know. I don't have motivation if I don't have the thing to do afterwards, right? Oh yeah, 300 square. Yeah, your garage is probably about the same size as my shop down here, maybe even a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'm thinking of the room here. This is also a weird space because A, it's a basement, and B, it used to be like the previous homeowner here, her husband used to make computers in like the 90s and into the 2000s. He also did like CV radio. So this is set up for somebody who did a lot with like electronics, which is not a very space intensive, but it does take up room. So there's a lot of little places for storage, but they're not really places that I can store things the size that you use for woodworking or other shop stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. It is weird because he like died where I'm sitting, so that's always kind of weird to think about. He just had a heart attack at one point and just died down here. A little bit creepy. And then when we were moving in, there was some cardboard over things, and we moved it. And there was a bunch of, we found out they were CV radio frequencies. So my guess is based on stuff that I found. He was in the military, probably did radio operating or something like that, and he had a couple places out west, and then he had a couple places like the Canary Islands and stuff. So it was just a list of other stations and wavelengths that he would speak to or listen to. I can't tell which. We tried to listen to them and find out, but we weren't able to get any like not reception, but like the stations weren't active at the time that we were like checking it out. So, and I never went back to it. I definitely have pictures of those radio things, but it's probably just his old war buddies or something like that. Or military buddies. All right, should be tacked up enough that I can start. Let's start with the light one here, just to rough out these cuts. And because it's not completely dry, yeah, the paper's folding. Also, I'm coming in from the edge. Oh, no, this is just mashing. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, and I knocked the camera. Oh, it's a massacre. Well, at least I got the divot in there. At least I believe I did. Oh, all right, well, let's try from this side. Right, I'm just relying on Wood wanting to take the easiest way in. Yeah, ham radio. He was a, he seemed, from the stuff that I found, seemed okay. Like, you see that, and like your first thought is treasure, and it's like if they had treasure, him and his wife wouldn't be here. So then you go to the second part of it, which is like, oh God, hopefully he's not like a weirdo, and none of these things seemed like weirdo stuff. All right, so I'm gonna have to wait for these to set up more next time, huh? Well, you know what they say: fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled a second time. Yeah, that's probably a way to go about it. Let me go grab something just to hopefully help with that. So if I were to score them, yeah, probably on the outsides, yeah. Try something sharp enough. Yeah, let me just hone this real quick. I wanted chisel that disappeared, and then I find out 8 months later my wife has been using it to cut soap. It's like, what? You gotta tell me when you do these things. Alright, so just trying to get around the line. Here we go. And it's okay if these are not perfect. This is version 1. Because version 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a stencil. Just going to go get some plastic cardstock or something. And print this out again. Print it on the cardstock. Cut out the lines. And then just run a pencil on it. And, there'll be some place where I have to keep it on to make sure it's still a stencil. But we're gonna do this the good way. So instead of printing out, because I want to make like 18 of these. So instead of printing out 36 imprints, printing out a much more reasonable number. So just a little bit of scoring more. This is a good idea. Thank you for the idea there. That should help a lot. Oh. Have you used it since? Have you tried, or do you not have the license? Or I don't know if you need a license for that thing. No, wrong tool. Ah, stuff there. Huh? Yeah, I get it. I still have some of my dad's stuff, and I'm just like, I don't really want to touch it right now. Like, I mean to use his wallet, but I'm just like, one day. It's a nice wallet. Oh yeah, scoring it really, really worked. Okay. Note for the future if I do this again this way and have to just kind of rush it. Okay, perfect. I mean, I still have to, what do you call this? Sand off the top there. But now I'm just going to try to go through this one more time. Just with hand pressure. I do like this look of this volleyball. I think that the image is good. That was another thing. I wasn't sure how this is gonna like look, but I do enjoy the image. I think it is evocative of multiple styles of volleyballs. Like, it kind of looks like the really, really old ones, but that's fine. Some of the, especially the outdoor volleyballs, kind of still have the paneled look. Oh, I hit the camera. Sorry about that wobble. I was looking at getting a new ball. I bought like a training ball, and it works great. It's a great training ball, and it was very affordable. But after using the like game balls, it's like, oh, the game balls feel so much nicer. Like they're dimpled and stuff like that, and they just like take a hit better. But like a standard, because this is like, I use a Mikasa ball, which is like the yellow and blue one that you see in anime, because they're a big brand, and they're good. They're what's used a lot at international competitions. So picked one up. The training ball is like 20 bucks. They're like the same weight, which I like didn't even think about it, that weight would be important for a volleyball, but it has to be within like 20 grams on the low and high end. I think it's like 240 and 260 or something like that. So they're the same weight, but the official ball just feels denser. Like it feels heavier, even though they're the same weight. Also, like I said, it has dimples on it. It takes floats better. It's just a good ball. I just enjoy it a lot. All right, we're gonna take a high grit piece here and just see what we get left over with here. Okay, so we can kind of see. So these definitely channels need to get a bit bigger. So I'm just looking at what I have at those channels. I have this one here, which I'm not even sure I have the right architecture on the edge of the blade for, but we're going to give it a try here. Also, I'm just like, how high up do I hold you? What is your angle of attack? Okay, because it seems like it wobbles. Like, it wants me to start high, and then it wants me to dip low. I also think probably could use a bit of a sharpen / hone. So I'm just taking a little bit of 220, not super high. This is just the back of it. Just going to rub that against the strap. Try to get some of the compound on it. I realize this is probably half off camera. All right. Yeah, so I took a big gouge, which is not the best. Yeah, this tool just does not have the geometry for what I'm doing. So let's try this V. Yeah, because like I'm like mushrooming it out. Like I'm taking too heavy of a cut for the size of this. I think maybe the answer, I'm gonna try this other one on these that I already cut, just to see how it goes. And then I'm gonna just try to go deeper with the first one, see if that leads to a better result. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, definitely going to be using the lighter one regardless to get the initial channel in, just so that I cannot imagine starting with this. Okay, so this makes pretty deep gouges, but they look okay. They look better than the other one. I think the difference is how narrow it is, and I probably messed up this one in sharpening. So I'll have to play with that one a bit and resharpen that one. I think that's operator error. So last one, we're just going to try to redo deeper with this one. Try to create as narrow a channel as possible. All right, well, already this is looking kind of promising. Yeah, I think the answer is just to use a small one multiple times to get down to the layer line. Okay. Yeah, I can't shortcut it by just using the bigger one. Dang it. Now I'm just going to try to sand off the paper here. Actually, I'll probably just give it a couple hits with this just to see what I can get. And when I make this a stencil, I won't have to worry about that. Okay. I was at when I was at the gym, I was like walking around looking for the basketball courts where the volleyball where I can practice volleyball, and I was just looking at it because I was like looking at this. I'm like, oh, did I please tell me I didn't accidentally like make a swastika or something? Uh, but there was a kid's painting of a duck. Couldn't be more than 4 or 5. I think it's part of their kindergarten class or preschool daycare. But they did a flamingo, and the flamingo's legs looked a lot like a swastika. It's like, oh man, I don't think they noticed that because they're a child, but like that, lying over it and stuff like that. It's like, oh geez, I'm sure that was a child being a child. Okay. So I do have a paper here that I did print out the smaller ones by accident because you can never print stuff right. So this is what they look like before, and this is what it looked like after. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, do I have anything that I can hit this with that won't be super annoying to clean up? Just to kind of give it some color, probably a little bit of water, right? Yeah. Nope, spilled down on the floor. That's okay. Just a little bit of water. There you go, just help kind of differentiate the layers here, make it show up better on camera. Okay, so part of that is my carbon quality. The ones at the top definitely don't look good. That was the wrong one. These ones look okay, but they're very deep, and I don't know how well that'll go over to the other side as well. But when this is in a circle, let's just try to round it off. Let's just use this here and round it off and see how it looks. Oh, why don't I just first get my compass and make a circle so I'm not chasing a weird oval. Oh, hit the camera, sorry. Go from the center here. And then we'll just carve this line to kind of make the perimeter because I don't feel like cutting it out yet. I'm going to hit the camera like 2 more times, and then I swear I'll stop forever. Okay. All right. Sometimes the issue is just getting it to bite in, which, once again, I think is a consequence of this being my first set of carving tools that I definitely have sharpened wrong. Also, by getting the grains, like the top wet, it allowed the fibers to become more bendy. And because they're more bendy, instead of staying and being sliced, they're getting pushed a little bit. A little bit more. Which comes the worst, I get done a couple of these and go, oh, these are bad? I'll figure something else out. Kids. All right. It's also going to go to PAX Unplugged, but I ended up not going. I know some people that went there, or that are there right now, and they're having a good time. When I went, it was good. I said that we definitely had problems. We were, okay, that's better. So, we play a game, me and my friends, that has an organized play kind of thing to it. So, the company, for the very first PAX Unplugged, was not going to have any support for it. They were like, we're not interested. We're not sure it's a convention that'll allow us. We can't send anybody out. We're not going to do any convention support for it. And it's like, okay, fine. And then we were like, well, if you're not going to do convention support, we're just going to run it as volunteers. And they're like, all right, cool. So we went to PAX, went, hey, we want to run games for free that, general people can join. And PAX Unplugged went, great. Here's some space to do this. And, we took that space. And when we got that space, we're like, hey, company that runs this game, can we, since we're basically running what amounts to a small convention, can we get, like, boon support to give, unique things out to people? And then that company went, oh, you have a table? Okay, we'll give you official stuff. But we're going to do it this way because now we're going to try to take over and run it out of our in-house team that does conventions. And we're like, we can't really do that because if you want to do that, you have to pay because you're not a volunteer at that point. And then they were just like, oh, whatever, we're going to do what we want. And then they almost got shut out by PAX Unplugged because they tried to take first-party control of something that was supposed to be volunteer and made everything way more stressful than it needed to be for no reason. And then the next year they did official support and just sidestepped it. So, but we had a good time. All right, just lifting this up here because I think I'm done the practice carving of this. Just get this double-sided tape off here. So this is what it looks like. I'm just trying to get good angles. There we go. So I tell you, it's perfect. Perfect. Looks exactly like it. No difference. Part of it is there's differing of the lengths of the and widths of the lines, and also the grain changes. So like on some of the other cuts, the grain is really shows up of the wood, and that is a disorienting effect. But you know what? Now I see it a little closer up here. I'm not as oh god, where's my mark? There we go. I'm not as far up as I thought I was initially. So I think the stencil idea is good. I'll probably print out a couple more, get the plastic card, and then just do it off of pencil. And this will be part of the box. I'm going to set up the bandsaw. Once again, I'm not going to stream that. I might take a video of it just to show bandsaw hands. But try to get a bunch of these out, and I have like a month-ish, 3 weeks-ish to carve these and get these done. This didn't take too long. Look, this whole stream was half an hour, and I really didn't even do any work before prepping this, as evidenced by me gluing it here in real time. So these shouldn't take super long, and if they do start to get long, I'm sure I can figure out something to put on the other side, like an initial of the gym or something like that. I'm not sure. But that was a bit of carving. Now I know I have to resharpen, or definitely redo this one and figure out what its cutting edge is supposed to be, because I can't figure it out. I'm stumped. But I created some gouges, and like it wants to cut in here. I think I just have to do the bottom more, because like if you see here, like it doesn't touch. It doesn't. I have to like angle up until I'm like here, and then it wants to start cutting. Like it grabs here. I got a very high angle, and that doesn't seem sustainable. That doesn't seem right. Once again, I feel like that's a me error. So it's definitely have to, I guess, pull this down. I guess. I don't know. I know what videos I'm going to watch tonight. So I don't really have any other crafting for today's stream. I just wanted to come and do this and stream. Because last stream was like 11 days ago, and holiday seasons and all. But I just wanted to not abandon everything. So I am just going to bounce and start making dinner. Thank you for joining me. I've been Mutgren Oakwald, and have a good holiday set if I don't do another stream before the holidays, which I probably won't. So if you're in the US, have a happy Thanksgiving.